everyone, my name is Chloe and today we're here to do my February book haul revisit. So if you've not seen one of these videos, what I'm doing is I'm going back to 2 years ago, 2023, and seeing what I hauled and if I actually read it. And if I did not, the goal is to read them all in this vlog and get them off my shelves. Either take them and unhaul them or move them to my red shelf. And yeah, so that's the goal. Let's get into this. So today, I think this is going to be a big one because I have a February haul and I have a library book sale haul. So this must be the month, the year, the whatever, when I started kind of like religiously going to our library book sales. And the books there are, I don't know how they get them. I'm imagining all donation. And so they're eclectic and they're random and they're often books I've never heard of before. So I'm a little scared. I would be lying if I said that I was really confident that I've read a lot of these. So let's just get into it. We'll start with my February book haul, my February 2023 in and out. So let's watch it together and see. Okay, so the thing about doing these videos is that we can see that I have years and years of chaotic bookshelves. I keep thinking, like, my husband last year in 2024 said he was, for Christmas, building me new bookshelves. It hasn't happened a year later, and so I just keep not organizing the bookshelves so for that time because I don't want to do it twice. But watching these videos, they weren't exactly organized 2 years ago. So yes, I went through a little spiel. I've got a couple categories of books that I hauled that I have not read, books that I have that I'm hauling and I've read, and books that I have read and then unhauled. Does that make any sense? No, but I think we're going to go with just the books that at the time I had hauled and not read, because obviously the other ones I've already read them. If you want to watch the full video, please don't, but it is also linked down below. So now let's start the video. As always, too, if you guys are new here, it's going to be on 2x speed. So I'm going to sound like a chipmunk, but it is going to be way too long if I don't do that. So let's just get her done. Hopefully it's not as bad as I'm anticipating. Okay.
So the first one is Keeping Lucy by T. Greenwood. So this one is about a mother.
I've read it.
The heartbreaking and uplifting story inspired by incredible true events of how far one mother must go to protect her daughter. So this one, she had a baby and she was born with Down syndrome. And so the husband sent her to this special school that's like a boarding school, send her off, not see her again. And so this mother, but 2 years later, when Jenny's best friend Marcia shows her a series of articles exposing Willowbridge as hell on earth, it's neglected kids, all that kind of stuff. She knows she can't leave her daughter there, so she goes with Jenny's now 6-year-old son. They go to see what happened, and it says a heart-racing journey across state lines, turning Jenny into a fugitive. So I don't know. I just love motherhood stories, and this one sounds like it's going to be intense and really put things on the line. So can't wait. Next is Secrets of a Charmed Life by Susan Meisner. So this one, I feel like I don't even need to explain because Susan Meisner can do no wrong. I am not a huge historical fiction lover, and yet I love Susan Meisner and everything she writes. And this one is a present-day Oxford student in Oxford, England. She is interviewing somebody about their time in the war, and so then it jumps back to 1940s England. And I think sisters who are separated. I don't really know. It's one sister who is much older taking care of her younger sister, and they're separated for some reason, and it sounds so good. Next is Save What's Left by Elizabeth Castellano. And this one is an outrageously funny debut about a woman who moves to a small beach town looking for peace, only to find herself in an all-out war with her neighbors. So this one, the first line just cracks me up. When Kathleen Dean's husband Tom tells her he's no longer happy with his life and their marriage, Kathleen's confused. They live in Kansas. They've been married 30 years. Who said anything about being happy? I just think this cracks me up. As a Kansan, it's funny, and just as a married lady, it's funny. Like, yeah, happiness, sunshine, rainbows, this is married life is not exactly what you expect, I would say. But so she moves to like a coastal town, and because it says it's an unbeach read, it pulls back the curtain on life in a beach town, revealing the true cost of a pretty view. So it sounds super fun. Next is Kai Rose Takes a Leap, and this is one that the author reached out and asked if I wanted to read it, and I thought it would sound interesting. So it's the year 2030, and like it's got this like new age, or like not new age, but like futuristic font, and 2030 is like 7 years. But students at Maker X20 are building gadgets for astronauts about to land on Mars, but 12-year-old Kai Rose has a secret mission of her own. She's a freak. Well, at least that's what her classmates say when they see her talk to animals. All Kai Rose wants to do is be normal like everyone else and win over Georgia, the captain of the soccer team and most popular girl in school. Meanwhile, a mysterious migration leaves a young dolphin stranded. Will Kai Rose help? So sounds interesting. I just love all the like very high-tech kind of futuristic elements of a book told in 2030. Sounds good though. Next is Sweet Pea Summer by Alice Murray. So Alice Murray writes like short, really charming little stories. This one's 250, 60 pages, and it's about 8 years ago, May Anderson made the biggest mistake for life and watched her high school sweetheart Tom Riley leave Hillsborough, California, and her in his rearview mirror. Now, after traveling the world, he's come back home. So it's a second chance romance. And I think at first they just really want to avoid each other and painful reminders, but they have to work together to make this food and wine festival, which this just sounds so like summery and cozy. I can't wait. Next is In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer. So this one is like a not so meet cute about this girl. She's just having a rough day, and then I think her she gets laid off, and the subway doors ripped her favorite silk dress, and now she's flashed her unmentionables to half of lower Manhattan. And this guy comes in to like help her, and then she like it becomes a social media frenzy because people caught this on camera, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be funny. I don't know. They keep like meeting up, and they have a surprising relationship. Next is Every Note Played by Lisa Genova. So this is one of the few Lisa Genova books that I have not read, and I love her. She was a neuroscientist, and so a lot of her books are very well thought out. They're not at all like hard to read, but like Still Alice is about dementia, and it's like I learned so much. And this one is about ALS. So it's about a concert pianist. His fingers obviously are very, very important to his career, and then he gets ALS. And I think we also get the perspective of his ex-wife, who has to kind of step in and help care for him, and she's got a lot of resentment about different things. And it just sounds like I know I'll love it. Lisa Genova. I have yet to read a book that I don't like from her. Next is The House on Mulberry Street, and this one, and also I think the New York Minute or one of them was blurred by Christina Lauren. So both of these sound fun just for that reason alone. But this one is for these two small town best friends sharing a kiss might be the worst mistake of their lives or the best thing that's ever happened to them. So it's about a woman and her male best friend, and I think unrequited love. He's got feelings for her that he's never spoken, and so she's wanting to she's running her family's in and teaching painting, but her dream is being an artist, and she wants to launch an arts festival. So she needs his help, but he's being kind of standoffish, and it's because he's got feelings for her that she doesn't know about. So yeah, we'll see. Next are my book of the month picks. So Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a backlist one, and this one I've been hearing more and more about it. I've read one Kennedy Ryan, and I just don't get the hype from what I read, but I've only read one. And this one is like one of my favorite tropes, which is marriage and trouble / like real life what happens in marriage. And this is about a couple that I think something tragic happened that kind of put a rift in them, and they decide to divorce. I think, but they're still co-parenting and running a business together. I think, and yeah, co-parenting their two kids and running a thriving business together, and they're always drawn out together. And so it's like before I actually let go, should we be together? Should we not? And I just love that idea. And one of my favorite books of all time is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it's about a couple who decide to take a year apart, and kind of the same thing. They're like different reasons have made them think that a split is the best, but they do this year apart to see like, are we better off together or not? And I feel like it is just really helpful for re-examining my own marriage at times, and just I feel like this could really hit home. So sounds good. My other book of the month pick is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. So I have not read Love Lettering, which I think is her other book. I don't know if she just has the two or not, but this one I just think is like a women's fiction about this woman trying to find herself, and it says honest and deeply emotional, Georgie All Along is a smart, tender must read for everyone who's ever wondered about the life that got away. So another one of my favorite tropes is kind of that what could have been idea. So this one is about one woman's quest to reinvent herself, and reflection on how the hopes, dreams, and stories from our past shape our future. So she finds a diary she read as a teenager filled with possibilities of like what her life could be like, and now she's just wanting to like use that as a guide to get started. And so I think there's maybe a romance, but I don't know. Sounds good. And then the last in this like category of books I'm hauling that I have not read is this one that I was sent from the publisher, Esther's Notebooks. And you guys, this one I did not expect to be this large. It is
okay. So from that first video, it's not too bad. We have 7 read, 3 unread, and 1 unhauled without reading. So 3 books could be enough for this project. However, we're gonna do the library book sale too, and at least give it a college try. So the books that we have now: Secrets of a Charmed Life, The House on Mulberry Street, and Esther's Notebook. Esther's Notebook is like comics, so that should be quick. And then Secret of a Charmed Life, this is a problem because I know I'm gonna love it, and so I have not read it. Like I keep putting it off. So I'm so glad this is gonna make me read it. So now I'm just gonna keep adding to this. Let's watch the library book sale haul. So I'm not gonna include any of the middle grade that I hauled, because my intention with those is not necessarily to read them right away, but it is to build our library for my kids. And so I'm not going to include the middle grade part of this, but let's just get in to the adult section. And you guys, I'm nervous. I am nervous. So let's see.
On the Street Where You Live. And this, I think, is about a woman who, following a nasty divorce and the trauma of being stalked, criminal defense attorney Emily Graham leaves Albany to work in Manhattan. Craving roots, she buys her ancestral home, a Victorian house in the seaside resort town of Spring Lake, New Jersey. Her family sold the house in 1892 when somebody died. And then now a pool is being dug and a skeleton is found, and it sounds interesting. Yeah, so we'll see. Next is Pretend You Don't See Her. So all these covers are textured, like the font is risen, and I really like it. This one says Pretend You Don't See Her. Let's see. This is about Lacey Farrell, a rising star in Manhattan real estate scene. One day while showing a luxurious Skyline co-op, Lacey is witness to a murder and the dying words of the victim. The dying woman is convinced that the attacker was after her dead daughter's journal, which Lacey gives to the police, but not before making a copy for herself. It's an impulse that later proves nearly fatal. Placed in the witness protection program and sent to live in the Minneapolis area, Lacey must assume a fake identity, at least until the killer can be brought to trial. There she meets a radio talk show host, etc., etc. Sounds interesting. At once seductive and frightening, Pretend You Don't See Her is the mistress of high tension at her ingenious best. I don't know. Sounds good. Next is Nighttime is My Time, and this one is about historian Jean Sheridan returns to Cornwall on Hudson, New York, excited about her 20-year high school reunion at Stonecroft Academy. But a dear friend of hers soon becomes the 5th woman in class to meet a sudden mysterious end, and Jean receives a taunting fax. Facts, you guys. These books are so old. Let's see. How old is this book? Oh, it says 2004, so not really that old, but receives a fax about a child she gave up for adoption whose existence she had kept a secret, but whose life may now be in danger. For present at the reunion is the owl, a murderer on a mission of vengeance against women who once humiliated him, and Jean is his final intended victim. Yikes. And then the last one is Weep No More, My Lady. And this says Cypress Point, the ultimate California spa where the rich and famous pursue health and beauty and unalloyed luxury. But lovely young Elizabeth Lang is after something else. The truth about the death of her beloved sister, a famous actress who plunged from the balcony of her Manhattan house. What she finds will determine the fate of Ted Winters, the handsome business tycoon who stands accused of her murder. So yeah, this says a climax to leave one breathless. Sounds good. So those are the American Clarks that I bought. Let me know if you've read any. I think what I'm finding is her like way back list is not my favorite, like the 80s and 90s, but maybe these early 2000s ones will be better. I don't know. Next is Lisa Scottolini, Running from the Law. So I honestly don't know anything about this except that I looked on Goodreads and it is a standalone. And Lisa Scottolini is an author that I love. She is a thriller author that I just really like. And part of the reason I think I really like her is because she also writes memoirs and she's funny and I just really enjoy her. So this says, wisecracking Rita Marone plays to win, whether it's poker or trial law. She defends a prominent federal judge accused of sexual harassment and the judge just happens to be her boyfriend's father. But all bets are off when the case turns deadly and Rita finds herself at the center of a murder. Never one to bluff. She probes deep into the crime, uncovering a secret life of suspects in shocking places. To end this killer's game, Rita has got to lay it all on the line for the highest stakes ever. So the premise itself doesn't sound like the most intriguing to me, but if anybody can do it well, it'll be Lisa Scottolini. And so it says filled with fast-paced action, tantalizing plot twists, and unforgettable Rita, a completely satisfying novel of suspense and human drama. So I really like strong female characters and plot twist, fast-paced. I believe it. I'm ready to read it. And then last is Barbara Delinsky's 3 Wishes. So I bought this one and I almost semi-regret it because Barbara Delinsky is very hit and miss for me. And I can't remember, I think I looked up what date this was published because her old ones, I think, are ones that I really don't like. 1997. So I'm a little sketchy about this one. But this is a heart-touching story of love and redemption that is surprisingly powerful. A woman's life is miraculously changed forever after she's caught in a snowstorm in a picturesque Vermont town. So this would be a really great one to read. It's about waitress Bree Miller. She wakes up in the hospital after a blizzard in a tiny Vermont town and she can't remember the accident that landed her there. I love the amnesia trope. So she's certain of one thing. She's been magically granted 3 wishes. Are the things Bree longs for: a home, a soulmate, a family, now within her grasp? After all, one of her wishes seems to have already come true. At her bedside is Tom Gates. Tom Gates, a renowned author who's come to town to make sense of his fame and who, as the collision's only witness, is determined to make sure Bree is safe and sound. So, yeah, it sounds good. I like this. So those are the mass markets I bought. Now on to the stack of regular trade paperbacks. Okay, these are sitting on my lap, stacked precariously high. So let's just hope they don't topple as I go through them. So the first one is Sunrise by Karen Kingsbury. So this is number 1 in her Sunrise series, which is a part of her Baxter family series. I don't know how it all works, but I read the prequel to the Baxters, which is like the Baxters, maybe it's called. I don't know. And it is a prequel that just came out in the past year or two. And it was really intriguing to me because you get to know the whole family, but just like in bits and bobs that gets you intrigued to read all of their stories. And so this is one of them, one of their stories. And so I'm excited to read it. I'm not sure whose story it is. It's got a lot of people, even just in the beginning. So I'm not sure, but it's number 1 in the series. So we'll see. Next is one that I have heard about over and over and over and over. I feel like it is a classic that needs to be read, and I have yet to read it, and that is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. So I know so many people that this is like a favorite book of all time. I don't know. It's big. It is big. But I think it'll be really good. It's a Christian fiction, and I've heard nothing but good things. Next is When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. So this is about, it says her sister's been dead for 15 years when she sees her on the TV news. Josie Bianchi was killed years ago on a train during a terrorist attack. Gone forever. It's what her sister Kit, an ER doctor in Santa Cruz, has always believed. Yet all it takes is a few heart-wrenching seconds to upend Kit's world. Live coverage of a club fire in Auckland has captured the image of a woman stumbling through the smoke and debris. Her resemblance to Josie is unbelievable and unmistakable. With it comes a flood of emotions, grief, loss, and anger that Kit finally has a chance to put to rest by finding the sister who's been living a lie. After arriving in New Zealand, Kit begins her journey with the memories of the past, of days spent on the beach with Josie, of a lost teenage boy who become part of their family, and of a trauma that has haunted Kit and Josie their entire life. So sister story is great. I really am just really intrigued by this. It says the story of childhood and innocence, lost and long hidden secrets, lies, and betrayals of two sisters must face in order to make themselves whole as adults. So it sounds intense, but really good. And I've read some Barbara O'Neill, more of her like chick lit women's fiction. So I don't know how she'll do with this deeper stuff, but I'm intrigued. I was really like into the historical fiction. So this is the first. This is A Woman's Place by Lynn Austen. So this is under the storm clouds of destruction that threatened America during the early 1940s. This unlikely gathering of women will experience life in sometimes startling new ways as their beliefs are challenged and they struggle toward a new understanding of what love and sacrifice truly means. So that's all I really care. I love like multiple women coming together during wartime. I don't know why. That's kind of like a weirdly specific trope that I like. But this says they watch their sons, their brothers, and their husbands enlist to fight a growing menace across the seas. And when their nation asks, they answer the call as well. And I think that is something that like I love reading about, kind of the female side of the war or the home front side, because you guys, I am not married to a military man. I don't have firsthand experience with it, but I have some friends who are married to military men, and the spouses and the families are equally as heroic as the men. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they do it, and it's awesome. So Virginia longs to find purpose beyond others' expectations. Helen is driven by loneliness money can't fill. Rosa is desperate to flee her in-laws' rules, and Jean hopes to prove herself in a man's world. So I feel like 3 to 4 women is a sweet spot. So hopefully this is great. Lynn Austen, I know, is also a Christian fiction author. I don't know if this is like specifically Christian, but we'll see. Next is The Party by Robin Harding. So I heard less than great things about this, but I'm like still really curious. And Megan Miranda says, on tense and riveting, what lies inside a family is not always as it seems. It was supposed to be a celebration. How did it all go wrong? So Sweet 16, it's an exciting coming of age, a milestone, and a rite of passage. Jeff and Kim Sanders plan on throwing a party for their daughter, a good girl with excellent grades and nice friends. They're going to do, what could go wrong? So things do go wrong, and Hannah's party quickly turns into the stuff of nightmares. I don't really want to know a whole lot more than that. But I'm interested to put my 2 cents in at least. Next is Before I Knew by Jamie Beck. And this is a Cabot novel. So I don't know I think this maybe is not the first, but I hope it is. Or at least it could be standalone, I hope. I don't know. On the 2nd anniversary of her husband's suicide, Colby Cabot Baxter is ready to let go of her grief and the mistakes made during her turbulent marriage. Her fresh start comes in the form of a certain tea, the restaurant she's set to open along Lake Sandy, Oregon, with help from her family. But when her executive chef quits just weeks before grand opening, Colby's pressured to hire old family friend Alec Morgan. His award-winning reputation could generate buzz, but their friendship has withered since her husband's reckless dare cost Alec's brother's life. Distracted by guilty secrets, etc., etc., etc. Secrets have a way of coming out. So I don't know. This for 50 cents, I'll give it a shot. My hopes aren't the highest, but it's also got really good ratings on Goodreads, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Next is The Lost Letters by let's see who's this by. Sarah Mitchell, says right on top, and I'm looking past it, but absolutely heartbreaking wartime fiction about love and family secrets. You guys, apparently I'm into masochism, but what if keeping your loved ones safe and never seeing them again? It's told in Canada, present day, Norfolk, 1940. So dual timeline, love it. In Canada, present day, Martha's beloved father dies, leaving her stash of letters to an English woman called Catkins and directions to a beach hut in an English seaside town. So that sounds interesting. Martha is at a crossroads. She decides to go to England and discover more about it. So then in Norfolk in 1940, Sylvia's husband Howard has gone off to war, and she's struggling to raise her 2 children alone. Her only solace is her beach hut in Wells, which is the place in England, and her friendship with Connie, a woman she meets on the beach. So Sylvia tells Connie something no one else knows about, a secret lover and a child, but the tragedy of war brings heartbreaking choices, and a promise made between the 2 women will echo down the years and could change everything for Martha, the girl in the present. So I really like these kind of stories. I hope it's good. It's kind of small, so 315 pages, but I like it. Next is another Lynn Austen. I think I have one of hers, Hidden Places.
Read it.
And this one is a deep yearning for home had led Eliza to Wyatt Orchards 10 years ago. Now widowed with 3 young children, she faces mounting debts and the realization it's all up to her, but she has no idea how she'll run an orchard alone. So just hearing about that, like, I feel like I can put myself in the shoes of these people a little bit easier because it is very similar to my life. I'm not a widow, thank goodness. But I have 3 children, and so I think stepping into like the what ifs would be is interesting. And it says when a stranger appears at her doorstep, Eliza guesses he's no different than the other outlet characters searching for work during the Depression. I love Depression era stuff. But the familiarity with which Gabe tends to the farm raises unanswered questions. With a vulnerable heart, she is unwittingly drawn to his gentle ways, but Eliza also fears that Gabe hides a past that motivates and motives that could jeopardize all she has fought to attain for herself and her children. So we'll see. Next is Out of the Easy by Brutus Petty. So Brutus Petty is famous for writing, I think most of them are like technically young adults, they follow young people, but writing books generally about wartime or hard times or something, but in places and ways you have never heard about it before. So this is about the French Quarter in, does it say? I don't know if it says. I would assume it's historical, but I don't think it says the time. So it says, known amongst the locals as the daughter of a brothel prostitute, Josie Moraine wants more life than the Big Easy has to offer. She devises a plan to get out, but a mysterious death in the quarter leaves Josie tangled in an investigation that will challenge her conscience, her loyalty, and her darkest fears. Caught between the dream of being of an elite college and a clandestine underworld, Josie must choose between who she is now and who she longs to become, between when to hold on and when to let go. So, yeah, we'll see. I think this one is maybe one of her less popular. I'm not really for sure, but I love New Orleans. My grandmother and her sister used to go every year. That was like their place. They loved it. And so then when I have been, it's kind of like just sweet that I get to see that because of them. And so it's just, I want to read about this. It says, reminiscent of the great Southern novels, oh my goodness, I can't say it. Creates a rich story of secret lies and the haunting reminder that our decisions shape our destiny. Okay, Robin Carr, The Life She Wants. So this is one of Robin Carr's, I think, more women's fiction books. She writes both women's fiction and romance, and this sounds like one of her more women's fiction. Creates an emotional and uplifting ensemble of characters in this rags to riches to rags novel about women, friendship, and the complex path to happiness. That's really all I need to know. One of their husbands commits suicide, and she's shattered. He stole his client's life savings to fund a lavish life in New York City, and so now she's like left with dealing with that. And only one friend stands by her, and it's a high school friend who wants her to come to Sonoma County. So sounds interesting. If you can hear, my time is running up. Etta is getting hungry, so I'm going to go through these last couple. How Sweet the Sound by Amy Sorrell. So this one also has really high ratings on Goodreads. A Southern novel about second chances. The Harlans appear to be the perfect Southern family. Wealth and local fame mask the drama and dysfunction within their family line. But as the summer heats up, a flood of long hidden secrets surface. 3 generations, love it, come together on their pecan plantation in Bay Spring, Alabama. Chief among them is Aniston, who by the time she turned 13 thought she'd seen it all. But as her heart awakens to the possibility of love, she begins to deal with her loneliness and grief. This tender coming of age tale, inspired by the true story of Tamar in 2 Samuel 13, shows how true healing and hope can come only from God. So this is going to be a Christian fiction, and it's got great ratings. So let's give it a go. Then we've got Fall from Grace by Susan Krauss. No. So some marriages end with a bang, some marriages end with a whimper, but in every marriage without exception, the beginning of the end is a secret. So it says Fall from Grace crosses genres. It's a psychological thriller, but where characters trump action. At the core is a murder, but more compelling is what happens to an array of relationships. Friendship, Stanley's therapist, client, and the aftermath. So pitting integrity against DNA and intuition against evidence. Fall from Grace challenges our middle class illusions of control and assumptions about who will stand by us when we're faced with the unthinkable. So I don't know, sounds interesting. These are like very stark white pages and very like large. So I don't know that I'll love reading this, but we'll see. It's also got good ratings, I think, so we'll see. And then the only hardback I bought, and I kind of have like buyer's remorse that I spent a whole $1 because it's not in great condition, but the Book of Two A's, right? Book of Two A's, yes, by Jodi Picoult. And I don't even know what this is about, except that I love Jodi, and I have not read this one. I think this is one of her lower rated. Everything changes in a single moment for Dawn Edelstein. She's on a plane when the flight attendant makes an announcement. Prepare for crash landing. Holy moly. So I am not going to be traveling anytime soon because my life is chaos and I've got 3 zoo animals. But she braces herself as thoughts flash through her mind. The shocking thing is the thoughts are not of her husband, but of a man she last saw 15 years ago, Wyatt Armstrong. So I don't want to know a whole lot more. As you can hear, there's mass chaos going on behind me, so I'm going to stop this video now. But that is everything.
So adding that in, it looks a little less pretty. So we've got 15, 16, 17, 18 that I've read, 11 that I have not, and 1 that I unhauled without reading. So going through this list, we have a bunch of books. Now, there's one that I'm going to veto on here. Sunrise by Karen Kingsbury. That is a part of the Greater Baxter series, and I am going to try to read that all in order. So I'm not even going to mess with that. I have 1,000 Karen Kingsbury books sitting on my shelf, but that's because I have that project in my head of wanting to do the Baxters. And so I'm not going to read that one. But then I went through the others to see which I can get on audio, which are physical, to decide if this is even possible. And I can get 2 on audio. Secrets of a Charmed Life and Redeeming Love are the only audios. The starred ones are ones that need to be read physically. So let me put this a little closer. We've got Esther's Notebook, which of course is like comics. So of course, When We Believed in Mermaids and Before I Knew by Jamie Beck. So those are all physical only. Can't get an ebook. Can't get anything for free. And then ebooks are The House on Mulberry Street, Running from the Law, The Lost Letters, How Sweet the Sound, and Fall from Grace are all ebooks. And you guys, I don't love ebooks. So in 1 month, a short month, albeit, can we do 2 audiobooks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ebooks. That's probably more than I read like in the second half of the year last year. And 3 physical books. Can we do it? I am going to be really liberal with my DNFs because these books have been sitting there for a while. There's a reason I'm not picking them up. Some of them do have high ratings, but that's okay. I am going to not let FOMO win, and I am going to be very liberal with my DNFs if I need to be because I want this to still be fun and not daunting and miserable. So we're going to see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 books. Can we do it? I'm going to probably edit this, like me watching a little bit more than normal, just to make this so it's not hours and hours long, because I cannot imagine how long this is going to take. So we'll see. I will check in soon.
Hey everyone, so it's early. I'm about to work out, but I wanted to get on an update because I'm about halfway through Redeeming Love, and I am enjoying it. Question mark. The beginning of this book, like the prologue or whatever, is a young girl and her mother struggles with addiction and men and all of it, and it is heartbreaking. Like, it hurt me to my core. And then, like, the whole book, if you don't know what this book is about, it's kind of a Christian fiction classic about a girl who's a prostitute and a man who is told by God to make her his wife and just show her unending grace. And so her story is really hard, and she is really resistant to being loved. She just wants to, like, push him away because she feels undeserving, and he is just so godly. And so I don't know, he practices a restraint and a grace and a humility that are, like, so hard to do, so hard to do. And so I'm really enjoying their story. However, we're halfway through, and it's a 17-hour audiobook. So I'm 8.5 hours in, 9 hours in, and she is, like, it's still the same thing. She's still pushing him away. He's still showing her, like, unwavering grace. And it's just a little long-winded. So while her story is, like, and it's making it feel almost cheesy because it's just so much of the same. However, like, I can relate. I don't have a history like she does, but I can relate to, like, you know, feeling unworthy, wanting to push people away so, you know, you don't get hurt. And I think that's something we've all experienced at some point. And so I can relate to that, and I am, like, swooning over his sweetness, but it is long-winded. It doesn't need to be this long, in my opinion. So I'm enjoying it, and yeah, it's just a very, like, it's kind of daunting that I still have 7 hours left. So yeah, that's really my update on that. And I like, I've been intimidated by this book because it's so long and because it's such a, like, classic, but I'm glad I'm reading it. So today is another day just at home because it's super cold. And so I'm not going to probably be listening because I have 4 kids under 7 now. My youngest is 7. And so it's hard to get any listening time in before bedtime, but hopefully I'll finish it tonight. The baby has been sleeping awful. And, like, last night we were up for 2.5 hours. Therefore, I'm really far into my book because I just put an earphone in as I'm feeding her, rocking her, doing all the things. So, yeah, hopefully tonight I'll get a good chunk done, or if not, then I'll sleep more, but I will update when I finish it.
Hey everyone, so it is the next day, maybe 2 days later, I don't really know, and I have finished Redeeming Love, and so I feel like it's almost a little sacrilegious to say I didn't love this as much as other people do. I still enjoyed it. It's 3.5 stars for me. So this is a retelling of Hosea from the Bible. So we follow Angel, who also goes by 1,000 other names, and she is a prostitute, and she has a really hard upbringing and all of that, and a guy named Michael has been asked by God to, like, pursue her, and so he does, and she continually runs from him, you know, because she doesn't feel worthy, she doesn't feel lovable, all the things, and that's fine. It gets, like, the whole point is, yes, there's a romantic relationship, but this is really about God's love for us, and she finds God in the end, and that's really beautiful, and just the way he will continually be there for us and continually pursue us, and Christ-like love and all of that kind of stuff. It is a great message. I just feel like it got a little redundant, and it's like 100 pages too long. This is almost 500 pages, and I just feel like it didn't need, like, the whole point of it being that long is that, like, we can do it 1,000 times and God will still be there waiting for us. So I get it. It just didn't make it that enjoyable to read. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this, that it was good, not great. And I expected great, which is why I never read like uber hyped or like cult following books. And I know people have differing opinions. This definitely is dark and like stays dark. She returns to a really dark place multiple times. And so it's a heavy read. One I would not recommend lightly, but it definitely like, and it could be just my mood that I'm feeling like anxious and cynical. And so I don't know. I am definitely going to keep it and probably reread it at another point. But yes, there's my thoughts on that. Now, let's keep going. So I DNF'd something. I said I would reserve the right to DNF, and I have DNF'd Esther's notebooks. First of all, look how large this is. That is part of it. And then let's open it up. Look how tiny these words are. Like, it is so overwhelming. And so this is like 156 different stories of this girl named Esther. It lives in Paris. This spans like ages 9 to 12. And, so it's just her like different things, different little short stories in her life. And she is really crude, really crass, curses a lot. And so I read like 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like, I don't even like Esther, so I'm not going to follow her for 3 years of her life, when especially like this is very hard to read, especially when holding a baby or doing anything else. And so hard pass, letting this one go. Got it from the publisher, and I'm sorry to say it's going to have to go on. So then one more thing that I am in the middle of is The House on Mulberry Street. So this is a cute little cover. This is about best friends Grant and Elizabeth. So I've read 2 of this is number 3 or 4 or something in a series. I've read 2 of the others, and it follows sisters. So her sisters are May and June, and then she's Elizabeth. So she always has felt a little like different, because 1, her name, and 2, like she's just different than her family. Kind of unreliable, kind of all the things. She is an aspiring artist, and now Grant, it's not Grant, it's Graham. They're best friends. They live together just kind of out of convenience. There's never been anything romantic, but they live together. They're best friends, all of that. And now he has decided he's going to move out because he's in love with her, always has been. And they're nearing 30. He's like, I gotta break ties to ever move on with my life, because if I live with her, we're just going to live like this and be roommates forever. And I'm never going to fall in love and, find somebody else. So he tells her that he's buying this house on Mulberry Street, and she's crushed and starting to think it's kind of one of those, like you don't realize how much you love someone till you're about to lose them. And so she's starting to realize that she sees him like as a partner, as a companion. There's never been anything physical, but whatever. And I'm really liking it. He works for like town government. She needs some help putting on this arts festival. So they're working together, as well as, trying to navigate their friendship. And I really like it. It's giving me, it's best friends to lovers. So it's kind of giving me Ready or Not vibes by Cara Stone. And what is the other one? Is it This Spells Love? I think, where it's like best friends turn to lovers. And I really like that trope. So I've read 2 of the others in the series, and I've given them 2 and 3 stars, and genuinely have zero recollection of reading them. And so, and I just read one, I think, recently, and I don't remember details about it, because these are pretty much just straight romances. There's some depth, not a ton, but I am really liking the trope of like best friend, and just how sweet he is, and how he's doing the responsible thing by like moving on for what he wants. And he's also like, well, he hasn't really communicated that with her. So there's some lack of communication going on. But all that to say, I'm enjoying this way more than I thought I would. And I don't know, maybe a third of the way through. I've got it on ebook. And so I've started getting into ebooks a little bit more, because my daughters and I have been like, it's easier at night when I'm reading to them, and I'm feeding her to read on the Kindle. And it's actually kind of helped me enjoy it a little bit more. So that's great. And so it's easier to now read my own books on that. So big win. I will check in when I have that. Today is Saturday, and we're just doing stuff around the house. It's really cold, and my daughter had volleyball this morning, and I'm in a tank top as I'm saying it's really cold, but I am so hot when I wear her. But yeah, so I'm going to try to film and get stuff done today, because then tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. So that's everything. We will check in soon. Hey everyone, so it's a couple days later, I think, and I finished this book, The House on Mulberry Street, a long time, like days ago, but so I think the last clip I took was me and the girls. I was reading on my Kindle, one of my other kids was reading, one or two of my other kids was reading next to me, one was doing a puzzle, and you guys, my girls love tea and puzzles, and they just did a 300-piece puzzle by themselves. They're 7 and 4, and just did a 300-piece puzzle completely by themselves. And so they're just awesome. They're my little old lady spirit animals. And but then last night was the Super Bowl, and gosh, it was sad. It was sad. Chiefs didn't even show up. They just got stomped, and which was good because I mean it wasn't good. But silver lining is I was exhausted yesterday. Me and the baby had a really rough night Saturday night. And then I often will lay down with my kids for nap time on the weekend. But I had a live show with Krista, which was so fun and actually really energizing and life-giving. But I was just really tired. And so in the end of the third quarter, I was like, I'm going to bed. This is awful. This is awful. So, I didn't feel like updating yesterday because it was a busy day. I was really tired. And then I was sad because the game was it wasn't even a game. To call it a game is an exaggeration. So, that's what's been going on in life. Now I'm about to run to Price Chopper, as you can see, and grab just a couple things. And on Mondays we do Muffin Tin Monday, and so the girls each get a 6-hole muffin tin with whatever, and they requested edamame and I can't remember what else, avocado cracker or something. And so they're gonna have that and just all sorts of snacky stuff. I'm putting in a pizza for Jeremy and I, and that's it. And so good day. But let's talk about the books. And so The House on Mulberry Street, it was fine. I am gonna give it a 3-star. So I've read the other two. I think this is the third because there's 3 sisters, and so there's some sort of novella in between. But I didn't read that. But I did read the other 2 sisters stories, and one was a 3-star, one was a 2-star. This one is my favorite of the 3, but I would say it's still just a 3-star. So things I liked obviously the friends to lovers thing. I love what a cinnamon roll he is. I love a good cinnamon roll hero, so love what a cinnamon roll he is. That's kind of it. I like the friendship vibes. I like all of that. What I didn't like is they're almost 30 and they're kind of immature. I also didn't love there's just not a lot of depth to either of them. They both have some baggage, but hers is over her family's expectations of her and being flighty and all that kind of stuff. And they're trying to plan this art exhibit for the town, and the town, it's definitely attempting to be a Stars Hollow-esque town where there's town council, town meeting, all that kind of stuff. And kind of a busybody older lady that is there. And so I liked it. It was very fine. 3 stars. If you really want to pick it up, great. If you don't, then you're not missing out that much. So that's that. So now I've started Secrets of a Charmed Life by Susan Meisner, and holy moly, it is good. It takes place in the time of the Blitz in London, and we follow Emmy is our main character, and she is 15 years old, and she really wants to be a wedding gown designer. And so she gets this job at a wedding store, and shows some of her designs and all of that. And this is really awkward. People are probably watching me. I don't know why. There's not even a car next to me, but anyway. So she is getting this job, has this bright future, and then her mom's like, yo, you need to evacuate to the country. And she's like, I'm 15, I'm almost an adult, but she's got a little sister who's 7. And so the mom's like, I don't want to send her alone. Go with her. Keep both of you safe. And so she goes. They have this wonderful caretaker, and then the story goes from there, because she still wants her career in fashion, and despite the war going on and despite the situation, so she kind of tries to take matters into her own hands. And I don't want to say a whole lot more, except that there are times in this book that I am audibly wanting to say, don't do that, stop, don't do that, you're stupid. And so yeah, I'm invested. I am invested. I'm really loving this book. I've loved everything by Susan Meisner, so I'm not surprised. But, and like, I mean, as a reader what's about to happen because we know what happened with the Blitz and stuff. And so it's just like, oh, girl, don't. Yeah, so good. So I'm like 40% of the way through that. So those are the updates. I filmed this weekend my draws for Decca TBR-a-thon. So next week I'm going to take a break from this vlog and do all those. And so we'll see. I was going to say, we'll see if I can get it done this week, like all these books, but there's no way. So, I'll see what I can do and I'll check in when I finish this book. Hey everyone, so this is going to be a quick update because this heater, I'll turn it down for a second because it is probably blasting, because it is freezing. I just took my daughter to enrichment school and it is so cold. It is so cold. My plan was to get the other 3 and take them to Trader Joe's. But I don't know if I want to do that. Like 4-2 and baby out in this, it is so cold. We're supposed to get like we're in a winter storm warning and it's supposed to come like tonight and tomorrow. And I don't think we're supposed to get that much snow, like 3 to 5 inches or something, but it is so cold right now and windy. It's going to have 20-mile-an-hour north winds today. And so like the temperature is 23, but it feels like, I don't know what. So cold. But I finished Secrets of a Charmed Life and I love it. Like for the sister element, for just the pacing is good. The relationships are good. The dynamic, like the character development is good. I loved it. I don't really have a lot to say because I don't want to spoil any part of the plot for you. But definitely, I mean, she does it again. Susan Meisner has yet to fail for me. Knock on wood. I'm probably saying that in her next one I won't love, but I loved it. Highly recommend. So now I think I'm going to start Fall from Grace by Susan Krauss. And I went to mark it on Goodreads as currently reading. I haven't started it though, but and it says it's a series about like this woman, I don't know. And so am I going to binge read the series? Am I going to get on thrift books and try to buy them or Pango? Joke's on me. I've actually already tried thrift books. They have them for like $15. Amazon has them for like $15. Pango doesn't have anything. And so I'm not paying $15 a book. I can promise you that. But they're only 99 cents on Kindle. So we'll see. I'm going to try not to binge it. Like, I'm going to try to focus and get this done, this book I'll revisit. But we'll see. I guess come along and we'll find out. Hey, everyone. Kind of living that migraine life at the moment. So, like, my eyes, I feel like, are not fully open because we got lights in here. And anybody who knows, migraines are the worst. So took some meds, hoping for the best. But I wanted to get on and let you guys know that I am about halfway through Fall from Grace by Susan Krauss. And now these are the most like nondescript covers ever, but they're like, this has been so good. So this is it's a weird formatting. Like it looks big, but it's definitely not. It's only just about 300 pages. Just about a little over 300 pages. And this is about a woman who is a therapist, and she gets involved with another woman who is needing the courage to leave her husband. And our therapist, main character Grace, she is very neutral and really does not insert her opinion about anything, but really like empowers this woman. And so the woman she leaves her husband, and the husband is understandably mad, but kind of directs it at Grace. And so then there is some revenge that happens, and I don't want to say a whole lot because this isn't a very long book. I don't want to ruin anything, but this is like, I would have thought this was like a women's fiction based on the back, but it is kind of like a thriller. I mean, it's a drama because it's not like we know who did what. There's not really a mystery to it, but it is like kind of thrilling to see how it all works out. So, it's moving super fast and I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely, so we're following the wife, the woman who left her husband. We're following Grace and her story. And then we're also getting little perspectives of other people. And it just kind of switches, at least I'm reading mostly in the ebook, but it switches quite a bit. And it doesn't really like say who's talking, and so like it's not confusing. You definitely understand, but it's like one paragraph will be this, then this, then this, and it jumps around kind of a lot. But the other thing I want to say is there is like very detailed description of an autopsy in here, and like body parts. A man dies and they are talking about his body parts, and like in a very descriptive way, and I'm not sure why. Like I'm not sure why it needed to be so descriptive. So this says Fall from Grace crosses genres. It's a psychological thriller, but where characters trump action. So yeah, I think it is character study / thriller / I don't really know. So I definitely, like, I'm like halfway through. We also follow Grace's kids, and we're really getting a well-rounded picture of her life. And so I'm wanting kind of to pick up the next 3, but like I said, they're really expensive physically, and I'm really having a hard time like not read, like allowing myself to read things that I don't own physically. So I don't know if I will continue, but we've got Grace's best friend. Like, we have a lot going on, and in a way that's very palatable. It's like not confusing at all. But yeah, there's that. So I'm really enjoying it. So today is a snow day. It's February 12th, and we got, gosh, I don't know how many inches we got out there, but they preemptively canceled everything, and so everything was canceled today. We did school. We I don't know, like I'm at that point where my house is chaotic, and like I need to clean things and organize things, and I'm just so sick of winter. I'm so sick of winter and being stuck inside. So yeah, it's 5:15, so I am going to, I made the crock pot. I made soup in the crock pot today because I feel like that's a snow day necessity. And so tonight's soup, I've got a really fussy baby today. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to go snuggle her for a little bit, try to fight this headache, eat some soup, and then hopefully go to bed. But you know, bedtime with a newborn, not feeling very hopeful. So not feeling like a ray of sunshine at the moment, but I will update tomorrow. I will definitely finish this tonight. Cause like I said, I have it on ebook, and so I'm able to read it in the middle of the night, and it reads really fast. So that's good. So I will update tomorrow. Hey everyone, so plot twist, last night, remember I came to you, migraine girl, fussy baby, found out why shortly thereafter. She started burning up and was so hot. And so she's 3 months old, just like 3.5. And so we freaked out because her temperature was 102 point something. And I know under a certain age that a fever of any kind is like ER trip. And so we called the Children's Mercy Hotline, and they were like, well, it's actually over 3 months. She's good. But, you know, she was like kind of rapid breathing and whatever. So we took her to the urgent care, and they like had, well, Jeremy drove, our whole family went because it's so snowy and it's dinner time. We went, and they dropped me and Mabel off at the front door. We went in, we waited, and then they were like, actually, we can't treat babies that young. So we had to go to a Children's Mercy urgent care. And so we go there, they dropped me off, came home to eat, I guess, and waited like an hour or something, and then got sent to a room, waited another hour, all to find out we don't know what's going on. We tested for flu, COVID, and RSV, have not gotten those results yet, but she doesn't really have respiratory issues. They said more rapid breathing is really common with fevers, and as long as she like does rapid and then less rapid, whatever. Holy moly, I have never prayed so hard. But so, yeah, we're guessing it's just some random virus. We'll see what the results come back with, but not the way I intended to spend the night. So then they came and picked us up at like 8 o'clock, and nobody had eaten dinner. So I had dinner ready here in the crock pot, so I'm not sure what happened. But, you know, I mean, men, dads, it's hard to get things done. So then we all ate, and we all went to bed at 10 o'clock, and it was a long, long night. And now we're doing some skin to skin and some snuggling. And the other ones all had the dentist today. So my husband just left to take them to the dentist. So such is the life of chaos, chaos, chaos. And February, you guys, it is my most hated month because the weather is always awful, and we always get epically sick in February. So as soon as the calendar turns, I'm like, what's it going to be this year? And I'm hoping this is something minor and nobody else gets it. And this is our thing for February, but we've had COVID, we've had influenza, we've had a 5-day stomach bug. All have happened in different Februaries. And like, it's just a hard month. So it's almost halfway done. We're almost there. Today's the 13th. And I finished Fall from Grace. And I really enjoyed it. So things I have not added. First of all, I thought this was listed as Christian fiction. It's definitely not. It is definitely not Christian fiction. Because like I said, the autopsy scene was pretty graphic. And there is one steamy scene that is awkward. Like awkward. And the words used are like just awkward. And so it's definitely not Christian. But anyway, it's not like awful in that it's really those two scenes and they're very out of place, it feels like. But anyway, this also takes place in northeastern Kansas where I live, and they talk about coming to Kansas City all the time. I think they call it Caw Prairie or something, the town they live in, but it sounds very similar to Lawrence, Kansas. I'm not sure if Caw Prairie is like a small town outside of Lawrence or what, but they talk about like a university in Haskell University, which is in Lawrence. And so I'm not sure, but that kind of thing is fun because even like the street names or popular street names in Lawrence. So I'm not sure, but that's fun, but also like when it's not accurate, which I'm not saying it's not accurate, it's just annoying. Like when the Class Mom series takes place here in the suburbs of Kansas City, and I love it because like she knows what she's talking about. But anyway, all that to say, so this book is about the therapist and her client, and Grace is our therapist, and the begrudging husband of her client retaliates, and so things go on from there. I don't want to say a whole lot. This is like a courtroom thriller, I would say. It's listed as romance, and there's like no romance at all. So I'm not sure why it's listed as romance. I would say it's like a low-key thriller. And it ends in a way that is wrapped up good enough. And so I don't feel like I have to go on, but I really think I want to. So I'm not going to do it until I'm done with all these books. But there are also some major plot holes that are like, oh, that was convenient, or oh, how would that happen? So this is definitely one that you want to take it with a grain of salt. It's like seems like maybe an indie pub. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, this is an interesting book. It was entertaining. It was quick. It had short chapters, and like I said, the graphic things were really out of place. And it just felt a little discombobulated at times. Like it definitely feels like either a debut or a indie pub that didn't have a lot of editing or something like that, but I still enjoyed it. Then I started How Sweet the Sound by Amy K. Sorrells. And this one, it follows two women. One is a little girl named Aniston, and I think that is so cute. I have a daughter named Annie, and her name is just Annie, but I kind of wish we would have named her Aniston because I think that's really cute. But and then her aunt, who is gosh, what's her name? It's Comfort. Comfort is her name, and so we're following these two women, and Aniston is a kid, but this is a 1979 Southern character study of a bunch of different characters and the southernness of their life. And the back says, a Southern novel about second chances. The Harlans appear to be the perfect Southern family. Wealth and local fame mask the drama and dysfunction within their family line. But as the summer heats up, a flood of long-hidden secrets surface. 3 generations come together on their pecan plantation in Bay Spring, Alabama. Chief among them is Aniston, who by the time she turned 13 thought she'd seen it all. But as her heart awakens to the possibility of love, she begins to deal with her loneliness and grief. It's a tender coming-of-age tale inspired by the story of Tamar in 2 Samuel 13, shows how healing and hope come only from God. Okay, so I did not know that. So this is definitely my Christian fiction one. There have been a couple mentions of God. However, this is like a slow-moving character study in the South. I feel like those books, you either love them or they do nothing for you. And I'm kind of in the do nothing for you camp. And so I'm not overly intrigued. Like the character development is not so strong. And it does what some books do, in my opinion, where they introduce too many characters at once. They introduce you to the whole family at once. And even though we're only following 2, like I really want to get deeply attached to one before we meet everybody else. And like this book, I feel like kind of did that better. Like we got attached to Grace and then met everybody else around her. We meet her family, her, her friends, all that. But this one, we meet them all at first. And so I don't know. I'm not loving it. I'm not uber intrigued by it, but that's okay. This is another ebook. So I'm making my way through these kind of slowly but surely. So now today, I'm not sure what's on the docket. Like I said, just keeping her happy and comfortable and feeding her a lot and skin to skin a lot because she is spitting up a lot and pooping a lot. And so we don't know. Maybe it's a GI bug, which please don't let us all get it. I hope you don't see that in the vlog. But also Becca from Becca Books and Bujo. Next week is Deca TBR-a-thon. I don't know if I'll get this done by then. Probably not. But her son is really sick too. So we are kind of chatting about sick kids and the worry, the anxiety. Motherhood is not for the faint of heart, you guys. It will be the death of me. But that's the end of the story. So I will see you when I have more to say about this. I'm also waiting. So I did for mini Deca TBR-a-thon, my 2 books that I can only get physically, I put them as a poll. So I am trying, it's a 50-50 because I want one to read next week during Deca TBR-a-thon, and then I could start the other one now, but it's 50-50. So come on, patrons, vote. So long rambly thing. Now I'm going to go see if I can load the dishwasher while she's sleeping or finish laundry or all the other things that have been piling up for having a really, really needy baby for 2 days. So deep breath. Hey everyone, next day, and I'm wearing this jacket again because this is like, instead of wearing like a apron or something, this is my, I can wash it, I don't care what gets on it and all of that. And because we still have a sick baby and we think it's a GI thing because as much as a 3-month-old can throw up, she's throwing up and it's just obviously all over me. And so, yes, cleaning this I actually have 2 of them. We got them when my mom was getting cancer treatments. And so I have 2 of them. So just doing a lot of laundry back and forth. Anyway, so yesterday went from bad to worse. Baby's sick, all that. Our heater went out. It was 9 degrees yesterday. Our heater went out. So we have our fireplace going. Every space heater we have, our neighbor brought us 4 more space heaters because they couldn't come until today. So yesterday, it was just cold. So we all and we have, I realized now really, we have horrible insulation in our house. So it's 50 degrees in our house and just awful timing. So we all kind of cuddled by the fireplace all day yesterday. We also found more water in our basement. My patrons know we had water in our basement a couple weeks ago and now we have it again. So really fun day. Overnight, the baby did decently well with fevers and stuff. And so I thought maybe we were turning a quarter, but she's really fussy today. And today there's a lot of GI stuff going on. So praying nobody else gets it. Anyway, so in the midst of all that, I decided to DNF How Sweet the Sound, and I read half of this. I read over 150 pages, and the format it's really easy to read physically, but I just didn't care about either of our main characters. Halfway through, I didn't care. This book has really high ratings on Goodreads. Granted, it has only like 600 ratings at the time that I looked, and so I think if you like slow Southern stories about just families and comfort, she is the aunt, she's the adult in this story, adult perspective. She has been through a lot, including like incest and really awful things, and so definite trigger warnings for that, and it's just a lot. So this one is not for me. I'm sure there's a good character growth, but just not for me. So I picked up my next one, which is The Lost Letters by Sarah Mitchell. And I have not picked this up forever because I just don't have very high expectations. However, in the format, it is very much like textbook pages. They're very white, very stark, very full. But I'm actually really liking this. I have it on ebook, so that part of it is not bothering me, but it's dual timelines. Canada in the present day, and it's a woman named Martha. She is a mother, and she's going to England to try to figure out information about her dad who has passed. Her dad was an author and yeah, she says she found a mysterious stash of letters to an English woman called Catkins, and so she wants to go see what's going on. Her daughter is also somewhat like not estranged. Like she really, really, really wants to be close to her daughter, but her daughter is just very standoffish, and she is studying or something in England, and so I'm assuming gonna see her daughter at some point, but she still has a good relationship with her ex-husband, yada yada yada. Then the other perspective is Norfolk, 1940. So this is about a woman named Sylvia. Her husband's gone off to war. She's raising 2 kids by herself, and she meets a friend named Connie at the beach. Like she goes to a beach house. I guess it's her beach house, and she goes there and meets this woman named Connie, and they start having a friendship. It says in the back, Sylvia tells Connie something that no one else knows about a secret lover and child. So obviously wartime's going to come into that. It starts in 1939, and so as the war is just starting, so there's all of that. So I'm actually really liking this. We're spending the majority of our time in the present timeline so far, but I'm not very far into it. So here's to praying for a better day. The guy for the heater is going to be here any minute, and it's Valentine's Day. So I've had the girls doing all sorts of activities, crafts, games. Like we're not doing school today, but we're doing school games, educational games. And so it's just a lot to juggle. I'm worn out, but I am going to go do some more of that. So we'll see you guys when I finish this book. Hey everyone. So it is Sunday, and, so it's been a couple days because I don't think I updated Saturday. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but it was a fog. We have had a doozy of an end of the week / weekend, and I'm not going to say we are over the crud because that just feels like too presumptuous, but we have turned a corner. We're doing good things. She is feeling better and a little more normal, and fever's gone for now, hopefully forever. And so we have turned a corner, and that feels great. So, yes, the past couple days have just been really hard. A lot of anxiety, no filming, not a lot of reading. And now I really wanted to DNF it, truthfully. I wanted to DNF it. I was like 40% of the way through, and I was really annoyed. Like this one, I was annoyed that I read 50% of it and then DNF'd, especially knowing that it wasn't going to be like my type of book. And so I didn't want to get, again, halfway through and DNF. And right when I was thinking I'm done with this, the Blitz happened, and so that was really interesting to me. So I can't remember how much I said about this, but this book follows 2 different women. One is Martha and the other is Sylvia. Martha is in like present day. She is going to England to try to learn more about her dad. Her dad has died, and he was an author. He had a bunch of letters that were presumably written to this woman, and she's not sure who it is. Now, it seems to me that she's going with the intention of like finding out her dad was having an affair. And so that kind of like got me in a bad space with this book anyway, because it's like why he's dead, like this is just going to cause hurt, and there's no good of finding anything out. Now, maybe I'm reading that into this, but it seemed like that was her assumption and kind of what she was trying to prove. And so she went, and like I said, her daughter is overseas, and so she doesn't want to like impede on her like overstep, or I don't know, like make her daughter think she's there just for her, which explain that you're not. I mean, like it seems simple, but so that was weird. Like I didn't like Martha. I didn't really understand her motivations. And then as of course she's like finding out about her dad, she's finding out about other people they knew, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then Sylvia is a mom in 1939. And her husband goes off to war, and so she makes a good friend with this gal, and it's their friendship. They don't live in the same spot for most of the book, and so it's their friendship across time, and secret baby daddies, and and the 2 stories intertwine in the most predictable way, the exact way you would think. I didn't love Sylvia. I didn't love Martha. I liked Sylvia's friend actually better than her. And like, I just didn't care. The first bit like got me interested, then it just lost me. And the Blitz got me reinterested, and then it lost me. And there is conversation around like what we do with the like kids in London, which is really interesting that we're kind of back there. in London at the wartime. And so like there's conversations around, do you send your kid to the country? Do you not? If you don't, how do you get past like the regulation that you're supposed to? And la-di-da, but I gave it 2 stars. I honestly trudged through this, and with all these ebooks, I'm feeling really slumpy. So what I did, well, for a few reasons, it's Sunday the 16th, and so tomorrow mini Deck of TBR-a-thon starts, so I am not going to read any more of these books for a while, and I'm just feeling slumpy from the ebooks and slumpy from books that I don't like, and am I giving these books a fair shot? Because this has been a very, very hard week for me, both like physically and mental health-wise and everything, just with a super sick baby. And so am I giving these books a fair shot? I think so. There's a reason these have been sitting on my shelf for years and being untouched. And so feels good to clear out the clutter and let these ones go. So next, I did have my patrons vote between my 2 physical reads. So How Sweet the Sound When We Believed in Mermaids and Before I Knew, which are both in upstairs because I have them ready for tonight to start when Deck of TBR-a-thon starts. So I think they picked When We Believe in Mermaids. So I will update in the next week about that. But then we're going to come back the final week of February and see if we can get the rest done. We just have this one, Running from the Law, and this is another ebook, and this is a chunky guy, but it is, let's see. I mean, it's really, really a big version, 426 pages, but look at this font. So I might actually read it physically, just because this feels like something my grandma would read. Like, I don't know. I was so motivated when I was a kid because it felt like she was just turning page after page after page after page. And so I felt the need to like keep up. And these little mass markets with like big font make it so I can feel like her. So Grammy, I don't think you watch these, but if you do, this book's for you. So that, and then my 2 physical books. So 2 physical books in 12 days. Uh-oh. That's a lot because it's the 16th. There's only 28 days. Can we do it? It's gonna be hard. And honestly, you guys, I have thought about, so both of the physical books are on Kindle Unlimited. Not only are they on Kindle Unlimited, they're on Kindle Unlimited audio. And so I thought about maybe joining Kindle Unlimited for a month just to listen to them. And but like, why? This project is for fun. It's not like if I don't make it, I know you guys are not gonna like stop watching, unsubscribe because I didn't make it. So because I looked at the price of buying the ebooks, and it's $5 for one and $4 for another. So that's $9. Kindle Unlimited costs $12 a month. So whatever. But like physical reading is my favorite. And if I can't make time for it, I can't make time for it. But it's a good challenge to have. So I'm not sure what I'll do. Like I'm not trying to, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't have one that think one has a moral value over the other. But it's interesting that I'm like trying to get out of physical reading. But I think you guys understand. So I don't know what I'll do. Truthfully, I might join Kindle Unlimited and try to like knock out in a month all my Kindle Unlimited books that are only Kindle Unlimited. That might be a good challenge. In fact, that could be a fun March TBR. So I don't know. Watch me externally process and stay tuned to find out what I do. Hey everyone, so long time no chat. Because it is Deck of TBR-a-thon and it is Sunday of Deck of TBR-a-thon. So it's almost over, and I threw in this book into the Deck of TBR-a-thon. So because I got to get these done and I'm running out of time. But I did join Kindle Unlimited. So I'm listening to this on audio. And I'm like maybe a little over halfway through, and I'm not loving it, truthfully. So this book opens with like a bang. We get the perspective of Kit, and her sister was killed in some sort of freak accident in Paris. And then she's watching the news about something that happened in New Zealand, and she sees her sister's face. Her sister has a scar, etc., that makes her believe this is her sister. So her mom is like, hey, go to New Zealand, figure it out. And so she's in New Zealand trying to find her sister. Then we also get the perspective of another gal. Let's see. I can't remember her name. Miri something, Mari, and Mari is a mom living in New Zealand, and she's married. Her husband just bought her like her dream house, and it's like a historic house where this actress lived, and something crazy happened in the house. And so it doesn't even talk about Mari on the back, so I'm not going to talk about it a lot. However, it's very obvious from early on how the stories connect, and it's just kind of redundant of going back and forth, getting the two perspectives. Kit is getting really distracted from her journey by a guy, and they love surfing, and their family was really dysfunctional when they were young. Mom and dad both had alcohol issues and drug issues and things, and her dad owned an Italian restaurant, so there's definitely some foodie stuff, but then they had like this kind of adoptive brother type figure in their life, but there was like weird attraction, like there's weird stuff, and then the sister who died had a lot of stuff going on in her life. So this is heavy and yet slow, and I don't know, it's okay. Like, I guess I want to find out if that was her sister, if she finds her sister, all that kind of stuff, but it does not need to be as long as it is. And I don't know, this would be like a good short story or something. I don't know. I'm not loving it. It's just very like distracted. So there is that. So this vlog is going to be short on B-roll because it's already really long, and I have 2 more books after this. It's the 23rd. So I have one, the other one, like Before I Knew, is on audio now, and then Lisa Scottolini one is on ebook. So let's see if I can get those done in the next couple days. My goal is to get this out Friday. It is Sunday. Can I do it? Hey everyone, it's the next day. So Dex TBR-a-thon is officially over, but I have finished When We Believed in Mermaids, and I did not like it. I'm giving it like a 2.5 star. So my whole complaint about it is just that it got too distracted. Like, the whole premise is that this woman named Kit sees her sister, who she thinks is her sister, on TV in New Zealand. However, she thought her sister had died. And so she goes to New Zealand to try to find her sister. While she's there, she finds love, she finds everything else, and like, the way it all ended up was very anticlimactic. And we get another perspective it doesn't even mention on the back, so I'm not going to say who it is or how they're connected, but it seems very obvious from like chapter 2. So I don't know if we're supposed to know or not, but it was definitely not a reveal. And this book goes into so many triggers about their lives growing up. So many triggers. And it just felt too much and too distracting from the whole point of the story. So not for me, but if you like it, good on you. And I've read other things from Barbara O'Neill and liked it. So now I have started Before I Knew by Jamie Beck, and this one starts also kind of with a weird thing. Also in this one, Sarah was the name of one of the kids, and Sarah is the name of like a best friend in here, so I keep being like, wait, isn't she like 8? But this is about a woman who something happened. One of her friends has died by suicide, and her husband is somehow implicated it. Like, he dared him to do something or something. So I don't know if it was suicide or accident. They allude to the fact that it's suicide, but anyway, then weeks later, days later, something, her husband does die by suicide. And so there is that going on. And now she is quitting her lawyer job to go open a restaurant in her family's, like in her hometown. And the head chef is the brother of the friend who died in the beginning. And so it's their romance. I don't know. This is the start of a series. So we follow her brother, and like we follow this whole cast of characters. It's fine, but I'm kind of struggling to connect. So for some reason, I turn on the camera and everybody comes right in here. So I've got every kid in here. So I'm going to go before there's things that I have to edit out. So I'll check in more when I finish that or when I have more to say about it. Hey, everyone. So I just dropped my daughter off at enrichment school, and I thought I would get on and update you because I finished the book I was reading, Before I Knew by Jamie Beck, and I am giving it like 2.5 stars. It was boring. It was a romance between Alec and Colby, and Colby is the girl. She used to be a lawyer. She's back in her hometown because of all the deaths and suicides and things that have rocked her world, and so now she is back in town, and she
Gosh, I'm parked by a recycling thing, and I think it's glass recycling, and I think somebody just pulled up to do that, but so it might get loud. But so she's back in town opening this restaurant. Alec is the brother of the guy who died. I think I talked about this, and it's their romance. Now, he is supposed to be like a Gordon Ramsay-esque guy, and he's mean to like all the people that work in the restaurant, and he just was like red flag after red flag after red flag. He was not, I didn't ship their romance because he was mean. Yeah, do you guys hear that? It's like tumbling glass. So anyway, he was mean. They have a romance. There's a third act conflict. Both of them are carrying a lot of trauma from the deaths, and there's like some family feuds because his family kind of blames her for part of her part in their son's death. And so it's like heavy but also light and silly and like a Gordon Ramsay romance. So I didn't care. I was bored. I didn't really love it. Didn't ship the couple. So done with that. Now I'm started Running from the Law by Lisa Scottolini, and this is one that I typically would not like because it's a courtroom thriller kind of thing, but I love Lisa Scottolini. I don't know why. Her writing style really is just engaging, and I really enjoy it. So far so good. I'm not very far into it, so I will update. So now today I've got the 3 little ones or 3 younger ones or whatever, and it is gorgeous. It's 9 o'clock and it's already almost 50 degrees, and so beautiful. So we're just gonna go outside. I think we might meet up with friends and just play outside. So that's the goal for today. I will check in probably tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a good chunk done, or when I finish it, or when I have something to say. I'm not sure. This vlog is getting so long, so I'll check in soon.
Hey everyone, so we are back to doing school outside season, and I could not be more thrilled about it. If you can hear squeaking, I'll turn the camera around. My husband has a ladder that he's going in and out of our closet through the window, and because we discovered we have mold in our house. So today is demo day. We're demoing a lot of our house and trying to get mold out. And so yeah, to say we're stressed and overwhelmed is an understatement. So this vlog is kind of falling off the rails, but I did finish a couple days ago Running from the Law by Lisa Scottolini, and I'm giving this 2.5 stars. I really like her writing style. It was engaging, it had good characters, all of that, but this book was just boring, honestly. I didn't care because it is about our main character, Rita, who is a lawyer defending a judge who has been accused of assault in the boy-girl way. And so she's defending him, and he is actually her boyfriend's dad. So there's that element. I liked all the interpersonal relationships. Like, I liked her. She has a relationship with her dad. Her dad's very opinionated about what she does and doesn't do. But anyway, her relationship with her dad, but more so her dad is a butcher and has this young black man that works for him who is the sweetest character I've read in a long time. Just loved him. And so really liked that. And I liked some of the interpersonal relationships, but the whole thing is her like going undercover to try to figure out who, because it's a assault case that turns into a murder case because the girl winds up dead, and so she's trying to figure out who done it, and so she joins like her dad's the poker league or whatever, and so there's a bunch of old guys that are kind of funny, and it's fine. It just was boring. So 2.5 stars for me. So this vlog this book haul revisit, I guess, was effective in the way that it got a lot of books off my shelf that have been sitting there a long time, but I'm unhauling a lot of them. I don't have a count exactly. But yeah, it's February 27th. I'm going to try to edit this long sucker and get it to you guys tomorrow so you can see it in February. So that is everything. If you're a praying person, please pray for us. We can't afford to do everything we need to do, and it's just a lot. So yeah, we're staying outside, staying safe, doing all the things, and we'll see you in March. Hopefully March is less eventful, less books, all the things. So we'll see you in March.